Now let's take a look at how you can set up our language on Windows. So first thing, we are going to take a look at installing our language, then RStudio. We will also take a look at how to install our language environment in Anaconda Python. So three things we will accomplish at the end. So first thing, go to r-project.org and then we will have to find the version for Windows. So here you see option to download R through mirrors, or you can select Grand Mirror, right? So go through this particular download, and here you see at the top you can see mirror for Windows release. Right now here it asks you to choose the region close to you. So considering I am from Asian side, so I have to use the mirror close to this particular place, right? So if I use anything like that, I can go to that particular region, then download R for Windows. Now here, first thing we do is we install the base, because that's the thing that you need if you are installing it for the first time, right? So here basically you have to download this particular base, which is R for Windows, right? So it's 86 MB worth of download that you have to check. So once you download the exe, you can simply find the installer that looks something like this. Now run the installer. It will ask you for admin permission. Choose the language, click OK. Then here, as you can see, it should ask you for accepting the license. Click next. Then here you see it shows you the path, right? Then you can click next. Click next to accept the user installation files. Then specify yes or no for startup, right? So if you want to customize a startup, you can say yes, right? Or you can go with defaults. So select next, then next, and then here you see options for registry entry. Make sure both of them are ticked, then click next, and that should go with the right. As you can see, it should go with the speed and finish it. Later we have to find the RGUI, which will be the place where we will be executing the R programs. Right now click on finish button. Now next thing, within menu we have to find the R installer. So let's go for that. Here you see R, and it has both your 64-bit and 32-bit installation. So go with the 64-bit, and here you see R console is here, right? Now if we type in, let's say print, then if we type in, let's see, my name, and if I hit enter, as you can see, it shows me the output. Now if you see this R console and get the print output, that means it is installed. We can also check whether it is installed through terminal. Let's open it. Now in case of PowerShell, all you have to do is type in r.exe. make sure R is uppercase, then .exe. Similarly, if you are on command prompts, you can type in r/version and you will get the version. But in case of PowerShell, make sure to directly call your r.exe, and here you see the message that you get out of this, right? So this is a message that you get, which shows that your R language is now installed. Okay, so now let's take a look at how you can install RStudio and configure your RStudio ID for our language. So first thing, go to RStudio, and here in products we'll try to find the open source version of RStudio. So if you go to products and then within open source choose RStudio, you will find the version listed for server and desktop. So let's go with the desktop, and here you see open source edition. Click on this download button. It should take you to place where you can download the free version, right? It's 176 MB, right? So make sure to take some time to download this. Okay, you can also check the version available for other operating systems, right? But for now we want to install this for Windows. So once you download this, it should appear on your desktop, something like this. Now double click on the installer. It should ask for your admin account access, which is USC. Click yes. Now for this, let's click next. Accept the default destination or change it if you want. Then click install. Now make sure to finish the setup. Now next thing, we will find this within Windows menu as RStudio setup, which is RStudio. Once installed, it should open one window for you, which you have to configure as per your default. So here you see it will ask you to enable automated crash reporting. If you don't like data being shared, select no, right? As you can see, by default your RStudio looks something like this, separated in 3 panes, left being console, right being your environment and file manager of sort, where you also see options for plots, packages which are already installed, or packages that you can install by selecting them and then clicking install. Also you can search for packages here and hit install. Similarly, you can view some of your programs output with this viewer and access help, right? Similarly, on the top you have our environment. So usually if you want to access global variables or some of the global data, you can view here. History of commands is listed here. Then there are connections that you make for some of your applications, that will be in this tab. And finally tutorial. If you want to go through R and some of the packages, you can check this tab. Now coming back to the important tab, which is console, where we do most of our work. There is also terminal, which is no different than our current command prompt, or you can say terminal, right? Here you see the Make W64. It says because we are on Windows machine, pointing to this particular documents folder. Third being the job section for starting any background scheduler or job, that will be listed here. So this is pretty much the basic interface for RStudio, and now we have our language and RStudio setup. Third, we will take a look at setting up our language setup for Python's Anaconda. Okay, now let's take a look at how you can set up our language environment in Anaconda. So if you haven't installed Anaconda, go to official Anaconda website, then choose the individual edition, which is open source, and you can download for your operating system. In our case, I have downloaded Windows edition. After download, what you can do is go to search and check for Anaconda. Now here you will find one command prompt or PowerShell. Let's go with command prompt, and here you see any Anaconda command that you wish to run can be run through this particular command prompt. Considering I haven't added Anaconda to system path, I have to use this particular command prompt and PowerShell which I already shown you within search menu. Now here, first thing we have to do is we have to make sure to install Conda and then type in create, then dash in, and here we have to use r_env, then r-essentials, and then r-base. So basically these three packages we need to install and create environment with the name renv, right? So within our Anaconda Navigator we will be seeing this particular environment, right? So once we do that, what we have to do is we have to type in Conda, then activate, and then r_env, right? So once this is activated, it will be visible within Anaconda Navigator, right? And then we can also list of the packages that we already have so that we can view whether these are essential or base are properly installed. Now to verify our environment, we have to go to Conda Navigator, right? So Anaconda, and then we have to check for Anaconda Navigator. Now once Anaconda Navigator is open, we can go for environment by clicking on that particular tab, and here you see we have our base package, which is Python, and second being renv. So let's wait for both of them to load, right? So here you see, here all the packages are in the process of loading, and once loaded we can make use of terminal and also the notebook option for R. So as you can see, now if you click on this particular renv, you get option for opening terminal, then open with Python, open with IPython, and then open with Jupyter Notebooks. So let's go with notebook option, and once we click on it, it should open a browser that loads the Jupyter Notebook for R. Now here if you click on new and then R, it should open another tab where you get to view your notebook that will compile your R code, and on right hand side you can verify that you have R kernel running. So if you type in print and your code and then run, it should show you that particular output. So this is how you set up our language environment with Python's Anaconda. So we have now installed our language, RStudio, and then our language environment within Python Anaconda.